Welcome back to the Toy Connections Action Figure channel. My name's Ken, and I'm perpetually your host for however long this channel is in existence. Anyway, what I wanted to do when I started this channel in the spring of 2021 was ultimately share my experiences with my life as a fan, as a collector of the various media franchises that you see on my shelves, the ones that I share in my videos, etc. As I felt that everyone's experience and everyone's perspectives are unique to them. And I wanted something of an artistic outlet to be able to tell you guys what I'm about and hopefully contribute to the overall fun and good nature of this hobby, all while staying insightful and having my own perspectives that hopefully as you guys hear them, you can respect them, relate, maybe even disagree a little bit, which is totally okay. So for those of you guys who have been supportive of this channel in the short time that it's been around, I wanted to say thank you for that. Those of you guys who were in the comments, those who have taken the time to reach out to me personally, thank you for that as well. Those of you who joined the Patreon and are helping me kind of, upgrade the small bits of equipment that I have in this particular now hobby of mine, I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for that. So I've been collecting toys as an adult since the end of 2002. So we're coming on 20 years now, and there's so much to learn. There's so much to see. And in my mind, you're really never done learning. My three favorite toy lines, if you can't tell from the videos that I've been doing so far, are Transformers, G.I. Joe, and wrestling. Now, that's not to say that I won't do other kinds of videos. As you know, those of you who have followed the channel since the beginning, you've seen that I did some stuff on Mask. I've done a little bit of Star Wars. I've done a little bit of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And I'll continue to do other videos on other franchises as well. I am a fan of superhero type items and the various characters that are in the superhero franchises. I'm a fan of a lot of the new individual IP and small companies that are starting up and that are doing what they can to contribute to the action figure industry and the action figure space. But yeah, so just with regards to what to expect from the channel going forward and what I've been doing so far, I do like to share a lot of histories, and some may be histories of an entire brand, some may be histories of an individual character, some may be histories of an individual faction or of a figure that's not very well known that I thought was quite neat. So that's really what I wanted to share on this. You've seen a few custom figures as well, where I've picked up some figures to fill gaps in my collection, as well as, we do live in something of a golden age of action figure collecting, in terms of the fact that, you now have fan-made product and upstart companies supplementing the big companies in terms of the mass production of characters and product that they've been putting out. So just with regards to my main passions again, Transformers is probably the toy line that I have the most history with personally. And that's just because of the age I was when I started collecting. My earliest memories of Transformers goes back to when I was 3 years old and taking a felt pen and trying to change the color of a Transformers figure, only to realize that I couldn't get the color back and I couldn't wash the color off. Things like that. I'm a big fan of the Transformers movie from 1986. I quote the movie all the time when I'm talking to my friends. And, I really appreciate the fact that as a franchise, they've never really taken a year off. Like since 1984, they've released Generation 1 all the way through for the better part of a decade. And even when that folded, they continued to release stuff in the European markets and overseas. Then came back with Generation 2, then Beast Wars, Beast Machines, and all the modern lines that carried on after. So I've always, if you were to ask me what my favorite toy franchise was or is, I would probably say Transformers overall, because of their consistent history, because of the fact that they have a really fun, albeit poorly articulated, I'm not afraid to put a little bit of historic criticism here, but poorly articulated figures in the vintage line. The innocence of those figures and the memories associated with them are still quite priceless to me. But they've done really well with the modern lines, like with the Masterpiece toy line, the Studio 86 and War for Cybertron figures and the Legacy figures. They've done really well, at least to bring the likeness of the figures up to what I recall from my childhood. Yes, the figures seem to be getting a little smaller while the price seems to keep going up, but it's unfortunately a product of industry that I'm grudgingly accepting And those of you guys who are still collecting modern figures, you definitely feel some of my pain on that. But, you know, we buy what we can, we get what we can, whatever's out of our price range, we just say, hey, not this time. My favorite vintage toy line would be G.I. Joe. And, you know, you can see some of the figures on the bookcase over here. The reason for that is I just thought that it's hard to beat G.I. Joe in terms of the versatility, the vehicles and playsets, and the absolute broad scale of the characters, right? You combine that with the fact that they had some action force equivalent overseas, and you've really got quite a big franchise with really a lot of range and just stuff that made it really memorable for the time that it was in. And since it's resurged now with the G.I. Joe Classified line, which is continually getting better despite kind of a slow start, it's got me into collecting the modern G.I. Joes, at least as far as the 6-inch scale is concerned as well. And just overall, as far as that franchise is concerned, I have read some of the comics, a little bit of the Marvel stuff, not too much, but some of it. And I'm a big fan of the Devil's Due run of G.I. Joe as well, that was done in the 2000s there. Obviously, the movies tend to leave a little something to be desired, in my opinion, but hey, it doesn't take away from the memory of, you know, what a great toy line it is and what a great toy line it continue to be. As for wrestling, you know, I'll just shift over a little bit here so you can see some of my wrestlers over there and up here. But with regards to wrestling, I tend to look at it as my favorite form of overall entertainment, right? Regardless of whether it's a collectible product like G.I. Joe or Transformers. And I do collect a lot of wrestling. I found, I should say, that for the better part of my life, childhood, adult life, the years going forward, I've been able to enjoy wrestling without tangible products, right? I've been able to just look at the histories of it, watch the old pay-per-views and Saturday night's main events from WWE Network, as well as what AEW has been providing us in the last couple of years. So just from a media standpoint, a pure media standpoint, I enjoy wrestling probably the most. That's where I delve deepest into the histories of the people involved, the wrestlers, the behind-the-scenes personalities. And the last few years, I did decide to start collecting the toys. So that's something that's, I'm not going to say new to me, because it's been about 5 years now that I've been collecting wrestling product in the toy space, but it hasn't been as long as I've been collecting G.I. Joe and Transformers, which started in the early 2000s. So, you know, again, overall, that's the overview of what I'm here to share and collect and enjoy. Now, as I said earlier, as I look up on my shelves there, I've got a bunch of Mask product. There's some Star Wars over here. Up there, there's some Ninja Turtles, some real Ghostbusters, and I totally plan to share all that with you guys as far as this channel is concerned. Now, there are certain brands as well, like Mythic Legions, that I'm starting to get into a little bit. Valor vs. Action Force has really intrigued me as well in terms of something that I'm looking to collect, enjoy, explore the lore of. But overall, you know, this channel has hopefully a long future ahead of it. And like I said, I wanted to do something of an introduction, a semi-formal introduction to kind of say, hey guys, this is Ken, this is what I collect. Hopefully you can relate to me, and to continue enjoying the videos going forward. Continue leaving comments in there. I'm going to continue collaborating with some of the channels that I've become friends with. You guys have seen a little bit of that in the past few months here, and that's certainly something that's it's gonna continue overall. So yeah, as for the videos that I've released so far, you know, I look at the first several and I think that my production value left a little bit to be desired, and I'm sure I'm gonna look back at videos like this and I'm gonna think about the production values as well, and think about what I could have done differently or said differently or set up differently. But this is part of the process, right? It's part of evolving and maturing my presence and ability to produce a video for the YouTube space. And you know, hopefully I can look back to this and look at it as a good memory, as part of the learning experience. And overall, when I do an introduction like this, is just to say, hey, you know, the guy behind the camera is a collector just like you guys. You know, I'm in the toy aisles just like you guys. I'm ordering product online exactly the same way. And just to give you a relatable face behind the channel to be able to talk to and think of, just like we're sitting over a coffee or we're sitting over a beer or whatever your beverage of preference is. I'm pretty flexible on that front, so if I ever do meet some of you guys in person, you'll get that vibe and that feel out of me. So again, hopefully the channel has a long future. You know, I've had to take a lot of time to really learn this craft and will continue learning this craft. You know, I have done a few modern single figure reviews before that tend to get kind of middling results. Not a lot of views, because I think that there's a lot of people out there who do this type of review of modern figures thing already, and you know, they certainly they're more observant than I am when it comes to figure flaws and things like that. But I did want to do that to practice anyway. That's why I did some of them. I've had certain video tours, whether it's my own collection or collections at stores and displays that other people have, and those videos have done very well. You know, I've been glad about getting the feedback and the number of views that I've gotten on those. And you know, a lot of the more unique type videos that I do, where I'm just sharing a fact about something that's not very well known in the collecting space, I've gotten some good feedback on that, and I want to continue to do that, because that's, in my mind, the way that I would help to try to enrich this environment and the YouTube space that we are in, right? I'm still continuing to watch other people's videos, trying to learn about those, trying to learn about toy lines that I don't know super well, and looking at other people's toy hunts and the types of things that they observe when they go out to buy toys, or what sort of criticisms and what sort of compliments they give to the figures that arrive in their collections. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say on that front. Hopefully I'm not rambling too much here. Really, this is just a semi-formal introduction to the channel, and again, something that I wanted to do earlier, but in lieu of having any other videos on the channel, I thought, well, what would I be introducing you to if I didn't at least throw up some content, get a little bit comfortable with the production of these, and then come in and say hello after the fact. So that's what this is about. And you know, if there's certain types of videos that you guys enjoy more than others, definitely leave those in the comments. I know I typically leave the priority to helping me decide future videos to my Patreon supporters, but it's not to say that everybody can't weigh in, at least to some extent. And as I start to see some consistent consensus among people and what they hope to get out of this channel, assuming it's in line with what I desire to get out of this channel, then I would have a better idea. Like if I'm stuck between 2 or 3 topics and I'm not sure what to produce, that would help me kind of guide that path forward in terms of what, you know, a future video topic could be. But again, now, sorry, on the topic of my Patreon supporters, wanted to shout you guys out and say thanks very much. Troy, Peter, Mark, Jody, Steven, Adam from Serpentor's Lair. You guys are the best of the best. You know, love you guys, and thank you guys for your support on the early stages and early months and first year of this channel. So anyway, that was the introduction, really. I'll try to get to as much of the comments as possible if you guys have questions in there, or if you guys just want to throw your 2 cents in. But otherwise, that was the quick and dirty overview of what Toy Connections is about. It's about collecting, personal experiences, personal perspectives, toy histories, doing what I can to hopefully enrich this this environment and play whatever small part I can among the growing vast action figure space. But anyway, that's all I had for today, guys. And I'll say it again, as I always do. I'll bid you guys farewell, and I'll see you again soon with some more of my favorite toys. Take care, and have a good one.